Good morning, everyone. I'm Muratsuchi. I'm your state assembly member, your state representative. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to beautiful Silverado Beach Cities, to the Beach Cities Health District main campus building. I want to thank Silverado and Lori Glover for hosting us today. We're having the Senior Scam Stopper Seminar, and I imagine, like my parents, that you might have a reason why you are here. You know, we've seen way too many senior scams, especially during this pandemic. You know, it's really a sad statement of our society that, especially in distressed times, that there are so many scam artists that seeking to target, especially our seniors. I know my mom and dad, my 91 years old and 89 years old. Thank God they're alive and healthy. And they've always been very careful, with all the phone calls that they get, asking for their personal information, trying to get them to sign up for this thing or that. But the one thing that set off my mother, she's normally a polite, nice little Japanese lady, but she got a call, saying, Grandma, this is, Bill, I'm lost and I need some money. And of course, my mom knows that she only has one granddaughter, and so that scam is not going to work. And so, normally, again, very polite, very nice, but she let, these folks have it before she slammed the phone down. But I know that is just, one too many examples of what many people are seeing. We've had several of these senior scam stopper seminars before, and I know the number one question that we always get is, why can't we do more to crack down on these bad actors? This has been an ongoing challenge, and part of the big problem is that, especially a lot of these phone scams, they're regulated by the federal government. They're operated by these fly-by-night operations where, once you trace their phone calls and try to track them down to get at them, they just close shop and then they move their operation elsewhere. And so a big part of it is just that there just aren't enough, good guys to go after all the bad guys that are operating these fly-by-night operations. But be that as it may, we are here today to try to share with you some practical information, some practical advice, and how we can all do our best to protect ourselves from these scam artists. And of course, I'm going to be here listening to all the presenters, and I want to hear from all of you. And if you have specific ideas on what you think I should be doing, as your state representative, to crack down on these senior scam operations, would love to hear all your ideas. So let me now turn it over to Lori Glover, representing Silverado. Again, thank you, Lori, for hosting us this morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Welcome to Silverado. For those of you that aren't familiar with Silverado, we are a memory care community. We do offer flex care, which is daycare for people with dementia and any type of memory impairment diseases, as well as respite care, short-term care, and long-term care. We are a clinical model of care here, so we do, you've heard of assisted living. We're kind of a hybrid between assisted living and skilled nursing. Here. We do have a full medical team on staff here. We have a medical director, geriatric physician, well known in the area, as well as nurses 24/7, physical therapy, occupational therapy, all of the above. So we're always happy to help out our seniors and everyone in the community. So we welcome you all here today. And I wanted to make a little announcement about the restrooms. If you have to use the restroom, you go back out the entrance where you came in and around the building to the right through the glass doors, and the restrooms are there, okay? And there's snacks and water and drinks. Please stay hydrated over here to the behind me, okay? Thank you so much and enjoy the morning.
Thank you, Lori. Yes, make sure it's very hot, as we all know, and so please make sure, especially to stay hydrated, get some water. If you need to get up in the middle of the program, please help yourself. All right, so we have 4 speakers today. Very fortunate to have representing 4 different agencies, federal and state. And so let me just introduce them all together. And then I'll call up our first speaker. But we are going to be hearing from Special Investigator Marco Valdez.
It's actually going to be Supervisor Jose Soriano. Marcos was able to make it, sorry.
Okay, thank you, sir. We got his boss instead. So, representing the Contractor and State License Board, thank you very much, sir. Jackie Wiley with the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation.
Yes.
Ryan Waters with the United States Postal Inspection Service. And Zulemi Gonzalez with the Department of Insurance. Thank you all for being here, and we are going to have our first speaker, the supervisor from the Contractor and State License Board.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How are you? My name is Jose. I'm a supervisor with the Contractor State License Board. And today I'm going to be giving you a little presentation about what we do with the Contractor State License Board. And what we are is, we're here to protect the California consumers by licensing and regulating the state's construction industry. CSLB licenses more than 290,000 contractors in 45 different classifications. Okay. Apparently, are you guys able to hear me over there? No? Okay.
Hold the microphone near your mouth.
Okay. Go ahead and do this here. So, how do unlicensed contractors target seniors? Seniors are most of the time trustworthy and they're most vulnerable, right? So what we're trying to do is go out there and try to catch these scammers. Unlicensed contractors will try to manipulate seniors and establish connections with them and to take advantage of them. The biggest scams for unlicensed contractors is that they will ask for a large down payment on these contracts. Based on California law, the down payment must not be more than 10% or $1,000, whichever is less on these contracts. The most common scams that they do, besides doing the phone calls, they'll go out to your door and knock on doors and try to pressure you into entering into a contract with them. They'll use scare tactics. They'll let you know that, I don't know, an example will be, your roof is damaged, we've got to fix this. Get second opinions on this. Don't go with the first bid or the first contractor that goes to your house. Another common scam that they do is they will try to get into verbal agreements. Make sure that all your contracts are signed and in writing. The price of the material, changing during the job, get everything in writing. Don't pay in cash, pay with a check, and save copies of the checks in your project file. Why use a licensed contractor? All licensed contractors have passed the trade and law exams and have undergone a thorough background check. CSLB licensed contractors are required to hold a contractor's bond. And they are also required to have a workers' compensation insurance for all employees on the property. Workers' compensation insurance covers work injuries while on the job, which protects you, the homeowner. greater consumers protections, more options for consumers. CSOB can help with either in the beginning of the process of the complaint, they'll go through a mediation process. During the investigation, we determine what legal actions we take, or if we recommend it for arbitration, as long as they meet the qualifications for arbitration. These services are free to the consumer. California law requires that you use the use of licensed contractors for any home improvement job that costs $500 or more. When looking for a contractor, I strongly recommend that you ask a friend or a family for their recommendations. And not just that, I also recommend that you go onto our license board website and check, make sure that they are licensed. You could also see if they have any complaints filed, or if we have taken any legal action against that license before. You can also obtain it by calling the Contractor State License Board. The phone number there is 800-321-2752. Once again, the number for the Contractor State License Board, 800-321-2752.
Website?
The contractor's website is www.cslb.ca.gov. On that website, you are able to check if they've given you a license number. You're able to check the license number. If you know the company's name or classification, you are able to look and see if they have a license as well. It's important to protect yourself. Get at least, once again, 3 bids in writing. Ask for references and check every single one of them. All contractors are required to carry a pocket card, and on that pocket card will tell you their classification, their license, and the name of the company that holds that license. I strongly recommend that you also ask for that as well. Ask if they have employees. Ask if they have workers' comp. Do not feel pressure to make a decision right there and then. That is their scare tactic. They will try to pressure you into signing a contract with them. Do not sign an estimate, because that is not a contract. Make sure that you have control over the payments that you are making to this contractor. I have an experience with one where the contractor was going to the homeowners, and on the calendar, he's putting down when he has to pay him without doing any work on that property. So please, you control that. Get everything in writing, finances and estimates, disclosure documents, and read the contract carefully. Only the contractor who holds the license or an improvement salesperson can negotiate and sign the contracts. Be cautious with an electronic contract. It can be edited after you sign it. I strongly recommend that you ask them to give it to you in writing, a written contract, and not to sign PDFs, because once again, they are able to edit that. You must be given a written copy of the contract signed by you and the contractor before he starts the work. Any progress payment and schedule of payments should be on that contract. Identification of the subcontractor, the material supplied, so you can ensure that they have paid. The start and completion date on that contract should be written. Any change orders should be in writing. Both homeowner and contractor should sign that change order. A construction or building permit is usually required and is issued by the local building department. Contractors obtain the building permits, and you must verify this with the contractor that he obtained it. If you're not sure if you need a permit, then I would contact the Building and Safety Department, let them know what you're planning to do, and they'll let you know if a permit is needed or not. Right now, The biggest thing right now is the solar panels. And the Contractor State License Board has currently a solar task force that is working on complaints when it comes to solar panels. I strongly recommend that if you're not sure about that, you'll contact the CSOB and ask questions about that. When you're signing for loans, any kind of loan, whether it's a PACE, HERO, or any loan, please verify that what's on the loan is the work that they're going to do on the contract. Another scam that they're doing is they're saying, oh, we're going to do windows, and they give you a loan for windows or solar panels, and then they end up doing a bathroom remodel. And you have to pay for the solar panel loan, sorry. Once again, you can go onto our website at csob.ca.gov. Make sure that they are licensed. You can call the 1-800 number, 321-2752. Every complaint has a 4-year statute of limitation. The statute of limitation also, you have a 5-day right to cancel the contract. It used to be 3 days, but for seniors, they've made it a 5-day right to cancel. Once again, a down payment must not be more than 10% or $1,000, whichever is less. Don't let the payments get ahead of the work. And at this moment, that concludes my presentation there. I'll pass it on to whoever's next. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well? I want to first thank the Assemblyman's office for having me back. I was reminded today by someone who came to my table that they remember me from 10 years ago. I said, wow, okay. I'm hoping I'm not looking the same. But anyway, my name is Jackie Wiley, and I am with the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. We used to be, or we were formerly called, the Department of Business Oversight. So now we have a new name, but our mission is still the same. And our mission is to help Californians protect themselves from those that are soliciting in the manner for deceptive, unscrupulous, and business practices. So we are a government state agency. All our services are free. We are the regulatory and licensing agency with oversight of state financial institutions, products, and professionals, such as state-chartered banks and credit unions, financial lenders, mortgage lenders and mortgage servicers, those people that we pay our mortgages to every month. So if we having a problem, the DFPI, and that I'm going to use that from here on out, because Department of Financial Protection and Innovation is just too much for me to keep saying, you would call our agency. We also have oversight over student loan servicers, payday lenders, escrow agents, and the PACE administrators, and our list goes on. Since our new name came into play in January of 2020, thanks to Governor Newsom signing a bill, we now include oversight over debt collectors and the consumer credit reporting companies and rent-to-own contracts. So one of the things that we do, our role is to do consumer awareness, like I'm doing today. My demographic is the Los Angeles County area, and I am here servicing and educating our older adults. And why older adults? We already know the story. I'm sure you've already heard it. You got the nest egg, you're retired, you probably own your home, things like this. But on top of that, we have to remember that there are some of us who are older now and that we're isolated, we're living by ourselves. And a phone call is welcome, just like the internet, social media, okay? So I want to also just let you know that we have a consumer services office, and that is housed in Sacramento, and that we have a toll-free number with wait times of less than 5 minutes. Did you hear me? Less than 5 minutes. And also hear this, that you don't have to press 1, press 2, and wait for a representative to come on the line, okay? That is okay? Thank you. Thank you. So the toll-free number for our agency is 1-866-275-2677. And you don't have to write it down, because if you came to my table earlier, you should have a packet that looks like this. And that information is in the packet. So let's get started. I want to start by saying this. Jose from the Contractor State License Board talked about solar panels. And I said that we license the PACE administrators. What is PACE? PACE is Property Assessed Clean Energy. And what it is a financing program that can help homeowners get these energy efficient and water saving improvements installed into their homes. Now I stress energy efficient and I stress water savings, because what they do, the solicitation has been, continues to be misrepresented, that sounds like this. Hi, oh yeah, I'm here, you know, have you ever heard of the PACE program? Well, there's no money down right now, and there's no out-of-pocket cost. So what does that sound like to me? Free. We all know that it's not free, okay? So you have to be mindful about solicitations. And we have to let you know that PACE is not a free government program, and the homeowners must pay back the funding through their annual property taxes. We're seeing a lot of older adults and those who don't speak English as the first language being solicited and targeted. And like he said, I said it twice, energy efficient has nothing to do with, oh, maybe you might want to upgrade your cabinets. Have you thought about doing granite? That is not energy efficient, so don't allow the contractor to coax you into doing that, because again, it's going to be attached to your property taxes, and that has nothing to do with the PACE program financing, okay? So let's get on into it. Let's talk about the new name, these pandemic-inspired telephone scams. So Assemblyman talked about the most prevalent one, or one of the most prevalent ones, and I'm going to talk real quick about maybe 5 that we are seeing that are trending. And yep, it's that grandparent relative scam. Hi, grandma, it is me. My friends and I are in trouble. We need you to go maybe to get a Green Dot card or a Visa card to get us out of jail. But if you do it right now, let you speak to the officer and he'll tell you what to do. So, I mean, I'm not a grandparent, but my mom is. And I'm just going to say, grandparents always usually come to their grandkids' aid. Am I right? Hello? All right. So the caller will say, please don't tell mom and dad. And that's what you're not going to do. You're not going to tell the parents that they are in trouble. But before you do anything, please verify that the individual that they never said the name of, and maybe you might have said, Jackie, is that you? You sound different. So I have just initiated the caller to keep going forward with the scam. So please don't engage in phone calls that come to you on sporadically. One of the other things that we're hearing about is that credit card scam. Hi, you might receive a phone call saying that your credit card has been locked. Maybe it's not a phone call. Maybe you got a text message that said it. And what is it saying? Please call this number immediately to unlock the credit card. Now, of course, you know, I know you're freaking out, because it's like, oh my God, somebody got a hold of my credit card information. Am I right? I'm here to tell you, please, 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 do not respond to the text message. Delete it. Don't call the number. Don't reply yes or no. And please Don't call the number that is left on your answering machine or that is the automated system telling you what to do. Go to the source yourself, which means go to your credit card, pull it out, turn it over, call the number that is on the card to verify. We have got to start doing our homework before we take action, okay? Even another call saying that someone made a large purchase on your credit card. Again, if you know you didn't use it, don't believe the caller, okay? Financial relief, investment opportunities, consolidation, modification, buy here, buy now, pay later, lowering your APR, maybe I can lower your car payment, whatever the case may be skeptical. When someone calls you with an offer or an opportunity to make money, gain money, or even something as simple as giving you more service for your TV cable company. I was talking to a lady this morning, her husband bit the bullet and they was offering him, more channels. But of course he had to pay in advance to get the channels. But what did he do? He provided his personal checking information or his debit card information. And I'm going to tell you again, I'm going to say it one more time. Don't believe the caller on the other line. I am so tired of this one particular phone call, and it's the car warranty. I get this call every day, no joke. And they have even started leaving voice messages. They even sent me a letter. So what they're saying to me now, hey, we've been trying to call you. This is the last time we're going to try to get a hold of you about this car warranty. So I answered and I said, well, what car are you talking about? Which car are you talking about? And the person said, well, you know which car doesn't have the warranty on. No, I'm not sure what you're talking about because I have 3 cars. You know which one. And I said, well, if you don't know, I definitely don't know. So I'm going to terminate the call. So if you know that the caller is giving you some bogus information, don't engage. Don't give them the information, all right? Government imposters, which is intended to mirror official websites. So, hi, I'm calling from DWP, and it shows that your bill is delinquent. Yes, I'm in the delinquent department, and I'm giving you a courtesy call so that you have until 5 o'clock today to pay the bill. Oh yeah, we'll take check over the phone. If you want to use your credit card, just provide me with that information. First of all, a government agency is not going to call you. When your bill or if your bill is late or delinquent, you're going to get it in the mail with a big red stamp or black stamp that says past due, please pay immediately. The IRS is not calling you to remind you that your taxes are due. Okay? And the financial institution that's calling you and telling you, hey, I'm so happy that you've been a customer of ours for 25 years. That's wonderful. Well, we're doing courtesy phone calls to all of our customers because we're updating our information. And so I just wanted to verify some information from you. Can you please provide your my social security number? Can you please provide your checking? Wait, what? You want my banking information? But so if I've been a customer for 25 plus years, don't you think they should have that information? So again, don't believe the caller. If you did not initiate the call, please don't engage. Don't believe it. Look at your viewer, even if it says ABC Bank and that's who you bank with. Don't do it. Go to the source yourself. Okay? So those are the main things that we're seeing as trending. So let's talk a little bit about cybersecurity real quick. How many of us are on the internet? A lot of us are on the internet, we're Googling, we're shopping, we're just doing a whole bunch of stuff, so we know that the internet is helpful and it's harmful at the same time. Do you agree? So what I want to import to you today is that, are you looking for the right signs to tell you that you're on a safe site? Are you looking for the closed lock? Are you looking for the S after the HTTP, which stands for secure? Are you hovering over the link to verify the URL that you're on the correct one? And the reason why I bring these things up, because again, copycat sites look alike. Amazon. I know I'm not the only one in here who has been Amazon shopping. So when you shop online, I'm doing Amazon, and right away, once I punch in my information, whether it's my debit card or my credit card, bam, I'm going to get an email that says, thank you, your information has been confirmed. We will email you or text you when your shipping is ready to come out. So what happened was a lady did all of that, but within 30 minutes that she had pressed the send button, she got a pop-up to say that, oh wait, there was a problem with your credit card information. Can you please re-enter it so that we can, get your shipping on the way? It was Amazon.con, C-O-N, and not com. So please, even though things look official, whether it's via email or by mail, because of the logo doesn't always mean that it's legitimate. Go to the source. And let's think about putting a second verification on our cell phones and on our computers. And I know that older adults, including myself, I still do a lot of old school stuff where, I don't always pay my bills through automatic withdrawal. I still write checks every now and then. Am I the only one? I didn't think so. Okay. So you want to do better with our passwords. Make them strong as possible. The two-step verification is a code will come to you, to verify that it is you logging on. Let's remember to log out. Let's start limiting our personal information when we're on social media. Older adults are very excited. I know my mom is excited about being on Facebook. I can contact this person. I can see this person and, friends and family members from way back. And that really, really took off when the pandemic hit. Am I right? Because people couldn't go anywhere. So let me just let you know that dating sites, social media, and other websites involve scammers forming fake romantic relationships with victims in order to manipulate them and take their money. What am I talking about? The romance scam. Romance, sweetheart, swindle, whatever you want to call it. Please be careful about people professing their love for you. I'm sorry, but you just can't be that lonely when you be online looking for love. But people are. And it's sad to say that a recent report from the FBI reports more than 3,000 Californians falling victim to online romance scams last year, losing a total of nearly $184 million. And it's climbing. So when you meet somebody online, whether it's a dating site or someone that you saw that looked really good and now you're communicating, you're offline so that nobody doesn't see your information, it's just you and this person. Once they start asking you for money, once they can't come see you, something as simple as, don't you have FaceTime on your phone where I can at least see you? Well, my phone is old. I wish I could, get me a new one. And people have sent the money. So please be careful. So safeguarding. Telephones, what are we doing? We're hanging up. We are not engaging, and we are not believing the caller unless you initiated the call. Online, we're changing our passwords more often. Internet, email, and text messages, we are deleting them, and we are not clicking on any links that we do not know of. Okay. And then we're going to have someone talk about mail. Let's talk real quick about debit cards. We all know the difference between debit and credit. When you are shopping and you use your debit card, I'm going to remind you that unfortunately there are devices that are called skimmers. They have been found on outside ATMs, particularly at gas stations. But now they are showing up on the outside ATM machines and in stores. We can't see them. So my suggestion is when you use your debit card, you don't have to do debit. Because when you do debit, you do what? You punch in your PIN number. If that device is on there, once you pull your card out, said person will come and take that information, and now your card is compromised. So let's start remembering to press the green button to do credit, to bypass putting in our PIN number. That is just some food for thought to help protect ourselves from that type of identity theft and fraud. Okay? So the bottom line here today, ladies and gentlemen, is number one, trust your instincts. We know the saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it normally is. Number two, never give out your personal information unless you initiated the call. Don't believe the caller. And always go to the source yourself. Okay? If you feel like you've been a victim of fraud, you have a question, we have a fantastic Protect Yourself from Fraud booklet that I have been distributing today in this packet. Stop by my table and get that. If you have a question, again, 866-275-2677, and our website is www.dfpi.ca.gov. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Hello everybody, my name is Ryan Waters. I'm a postal inspector with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. If everyone can hear me? Okay. To just give a quick description of who we are, we're the law enforcement arm of the U.S. Postal Service. So we protect the flow of mail facilities, employees, everything like that. So I'm just going to give a perspective of everything that you've heard, kind of how mail can be involved in that. Some of the most important ways that you can get defrauded is identity theft or someone stealing your information. So one major way that happens now is mail theft. So what you need to do is kind of be aware of everything that should be coming to you. If you're missing mail, or all of your mail is not coming, or if you're expecting something and it doesn't come, be on the lookout for that. Now, it could be that it's coming to your mailbox and someone might be grabbing it from it, so maybe try to take the mail as soon as you can. When you're putting mail out, if you're writing checks or anything with any personal information, don't put it in a neighborhood collection box where it sits for hours and hours. It'd be something where you might want to give it directly to the post office if that's something that's available to you, or put it out as late as possible. It could even be, if you have important stuff and you have the little flag that you put on your mailbox, don't necessarily do that. They're going to take the mail in your mailbox no matter if you have the flag or not. Another thing that happens is a change of address request. I don't know if any of you have moved recently, but there's a service that the USPS gives where you can online put a change of address request, and then your mail will be automatically forwarded for up to a year, and you pay a small fee. Unfortunately, this can be used for fraud. If someone is able to get your information, pay a fee, they can change your mail being directed towards you correctly, and they can send it to themselves. Sometimes it's hard to track because they'll put it to a PO box or one of those FedEx stations where, it's not like we can see who exactly it's going to. So again, keep track of your mail. You're not going to know exactly what's coming to you all the time, but if you're missing bills, if you're expecting voter information, if you're expecting driver's licenses, and you're not getting it, and you're not getting it on time, that's something that you're going to want to note, and then you can report that to us. And so I should actually also give you our contact information. The best phone number to report mail fraud is 1-877-876-2455. And that would be to report any type of mail fraud. So that could be your mail being stolen, or if you think that someone is targeting you with, phishing or everything that we just talked about with the internet or phone calls, that'll also come in the mail. So the mail can be stolen or also be used to facilitate fraud.
Say it again before this.
Yeah, 877-876-2455. And then also you can go to USPIS.gov. So it's not USPS, which is the Postal Service, we're the law enforcement arm of it, so it's USPIS.gov. I just want to, Jackie was so good with giving a lot of the fraud, and I'll just kind of give the law enforcement perspective that's going on and how that can be used with the mail. So there's the government grant scam that is pretty prevalent now. It also can be, a variation of it would be a lottery scam. Oftentimes people begin mail, and this can also come with phone emails, anything like that, where you're told that you're entitled to a government grant, or you won a lottery, or something where you're getting money that you didn't expect it. That can often come with the mail. So the one thing to keep in mind of that, where you're going to know it's not right, is when you have to pay a fee to access your money. If anyone's telling you, hey, you won something, but first you got to pay this person $50, you got to pay this person $100, $200, that's just not going to be legitimate. So always, if someone's telling you won something you didn't expect, definitely be wary of it. But if someone's asking for you to pay some kind of initial fee for you to get the larger amount of money, that's almost definitely not going to be correct. And just like was said previously, always go to the source. There's going to be phone numbers and websites, email addresses for you to contact, people to mail. But you know, if you supposedly won the California lottery, go look it up yourself without looking at that website that they give you, that phone number that they give you. You can call someone and ask them, hey, does this seem legitimate? So that's kind of the big takeaway for the grant scams. The government imposters. Just like Jackie said, IRS, Postal Service, anyone, no one's going to be calling you, harassing you for money, saying that something has to happen right off the bat. So always go to the source, just like she said. I'll add, so I am a federal agent. I will have to call victims sometimes, and sometimes people are pretty wary. They haven't necessarily ever heard of the Postal Inspection Service, or you know, they think it's a scam. I never take offense if someone says, hey, I want to verify it, and you send me an email with your government email address, which can be spoofed, so don't take that as 100% confirmation. I tell them, hey, you can call that number that I just gave you, and then they will confirm who it is. So don't think that anyone will be offended. If it is a legitimate person, they won't be offended that you're trying to confirm who they are. So if someone gets mad at you or yells at you for wasting their time or something like that, I would never do that when I'm calling anyone. So don't ever be afraid to ask people to give confirmation, or look it up yourself and then ask, hey, I'll call you back later if I'm able to confirm who you are. Tech support. That's another one that's popping up a lot. No pun intended. Oftentimes people are unfamiliar with technology, or they get, you know, uncomfortable or panicked if something on there. I know myself, when my computer stops working, stuff starts popping up, I get frustrated and I can make rash decisions. So if you see something pop up in your computer, there's warning, you've been hacked or you're infected, it's possible that you do have a virus, but if it's telling you you have to call someone, you have to click this, you know, always take a step back, go to wherever, go to your local Best Buy, call one of your relatives that might understand these type of things. Don't think that, like, hey, someone's got all my information and I got to follow their instructions. It's very rare, that almost impossible, that a real virus would be telling you that you have a virus and like, hey, we got the perfect way for you to get out of it, and you have to start paying money and clicking. So that is one thing to look out for. Romance scams, same thing that Jackie said. I just give you the law enforcement perspective of those. All too often, this is one of the main scams that I work, and I've unfortunately talked to victims that have lost millions of dollars. It's very, very sad and unfortunate situations. The one thing that I would want to emphasize is oftentimes the victim maybe halfway through is even sort of aware of what's happening and becomes embarrassed. We might learn of it through mailing patterns or bank records, and I might call them. People often are very embarrassed and don't want to report it, or even when I'm talking to them, they want to say that that romance or that friendship is legitimate because they're embarrassed. They don't want their family to know that they've been tricked. They might not want to admit to themselves that they've been tricked. The one thing I'd say is I've worked dozens of these cases. It's not something to be embarrassed by. All kinds of people with sophistication, college degrees, all types of money from everywhere in the world have been tricked by this. So just that stigma of not wanting to admit that you might have been tricked, it lets these scams go on far longer than they need to. And even if law enforcement's calling, sometimes people don't want to talk about what's happening, and there's really no need to have that stigma and to be embarrassed about what goes on with that. And oftentimes that will involve the mail system. People will want the funds to be mailed. If someone's asking you to, is this still going? Is it out? Did it cut out?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just out.
There's a plug in right. Let me try that way.
Is this working? Can you hear me? All right, so just to continue on the romance scams, one of the things that is pretty prevalent with them, with all kinds of scams, but especially with romance scams, is postal money orders. So that's when the postal system's kind of facilitating the crime. They're harder to track. It's almost like a cashier's check that once they're out there, it's almost impossible for anyone to get it back, or someone can get the cash and it's gone. So if someone is asking you to mail money and you're getting multiple postal orders, especially if they're multiple ones under $1,000, that's something to be aware of. Anything over $1,000 of the postal money orders have to be written down. It's almost like a money laundering protection that the post office has to record, get a form of ID. So if someone's asking you to get multiple postal money orders and they're all under $1,000, even if they are over $1,000, ask yourself why a postal money order where it's harder to track it would be something that's important, why they would need it in that fashion. And that kind of leads to a money mule. I don't know if you've ever heard that term. Sometimes people, if you're not losing money, you might not think you're part of a fraud, but this is kind of like to tell you just because that's happening doesn't mean that there is not fraud. And if you look out for certain things, we can kind of stop other fraud. So a money mule is, let's say you're with a romance scam and someone's asking to send you money, and they're giving you money, and then they're asking you to send to someone else, and so you're thinking, oh, well, this of course can't be a fraud, no one's losing any money. Well, what's happened is they're just using more layers of people and fraud victims in order to hide the origin of the money. So what might happen is they might trick an original person to lose money. They don't want it to be mailed to them because someone like me can track it, so they'll send it to someone else who's a victim. Maybe that person they don't think is as willing to lose money, but they do want to, they are into the romance scam or they have been tricked. So now that person gets the money and then they deposit it in their bank account and then they get a money order and send it to someone else. So in their mind, well, of course I haven't lost money, no one's been scammed. Unfortunately, there's the beginning user who has been scammed, and it just makes it kind of harder to follow the money. I've talked to someone who's done this multiple times, and unfortunately she's a victim who just believes that she's a lottery winner, and she thinks by doing this that she is paying some sort of fee that's required, and every time we talk to her, she kind of agrees that it doesn't seem right, but someone else new emails her, tells her that what we're saying is wrong, of course she's going to get the money, and this goes on. So it's just something to be aware of. There's not too many situations where someone would be giving you money and asking you to send the same amount of money unless they're trying to hide that transfer of money. Let's try Same thing that was said before. Just do your homework with everything you have. If something comes to you, whether it be by mail, phone, email, always go to the source. It's going to be hard for someone to give you a fake number or a fake website. If you go to that website itself, you call them, call the number on the bill, call the number on the credit card. If an agency's calling you, look up, Google that agency, and you'll get that information. And then the next thing is when you're doing your homework, if someone's trying to give you like a sense of urgency, that's one of the most telltale signs of fraud. If someone's telling you you have to do something by the end of the day, the end of the hour, there's almost no legitimate companies, agencies, anyone who will be telling you that you have to make a decision within a half hour, an hour. Oftentimes, we'll have with the law enforcement ones, we'll have someone calling someone and say like, hey, we've caught you, you're going to be arrested, you have to go to the local Bitcoin ATM machine and do this, we're following you and we know it. And people get so worked up, they know, after we talk to them later, they're like, of course we should have known, but they get so wrapped up into the time urgency of things that they don't have time to think about what's actually going on. So if you are getting unsolicited calls, emails, or mail, just take a beat and think about it for a second, and know that nothing is really going to be that time sensitive. And then that's about it. I just want to emphasize. Okay, thank you. Just want to emphasize the website uspis.gov and the phone number 876-877-2455. And someone will be happy to answer any questions you think about any kind of potential fraud that involves mail and all.
Hello, can you hear me?
You might have to speak up.
Oh, hello? Okay, great. Sorry, I speak so low normally, so I'll try my best to be a little louder. My name is Selene Gonzalez, and I'm an outreach analyst with the Department of Insurance. I'll start with a brief overview of what the department does, and then we'll go into discussion of common insurance scams, and then close with some resources from the Department of Insurance. So the California Department of Insurance is a state agency, and we regulate the insurance marketplace. We regulate all lines of insurance, including homeowners, auto, life, health, and that, just to name a few there. And we also regulate the insurance companies, agents, and brokers that sell insurance. So if you ever have any issues with an insurance agent or broker, you can call our department and we can help you with that. So our phone number is 800-927-4357. So now let's talk about why we're all here today. Reports indicate that seniors are the largest population targeted for scams. Why are seniors a big target? Because seniors have accumulated wealth. Seniors have money accumulated in their homes, life insurance, retirement savings, and someone wants to steal some of that hard-earned money. The good news is that there's a lot of protection programs to help you. So one of the most popular scams involving insurance is an annuity. Why? Because California spends an average of $20 billion on annuities. It's a lot of money for scam agents there. So an annuity is a contract between you and the insurance company. You buy it by making one or more premium payments, and they in return make income payments to you for a fixed period of time in the future. It's often used as an investment vehicle for retirement home income, but it's sold, and it's also sold by licensed insurance agents, usually with a financial background. It's also important to note that growth in annuities are also tax deferred. So annuities are good for some, but really lousy for others because of the 7-year surrender charge. So there's a big penalty for you to take your money out if you need it, maybe in case of an emergency. But agents love to sell it because of the big upfront commission. So what happens next? So usually an agent gets you into an annuity, then 12 months or 18 months later, gives you a call and says, oh, there's a better annuity for you and we need to switch you now. So what does that mean to you? You may be hit with a penalty for early withdrawal, but it's more upfront commission for the agent again, and you might even have a tax implication on top of it. But if you have a financial advisor whom you've been working with for years, and they know your financial goals and suggest adding an annuity to your portfolio, then an annuity can be the right investment for you. Just don't make any decision to buy an annuity right away, sleep on it, and then think it over with a family member or someone you trust. If it's a good deal today, it will be a good deal tomorrow. So other insurance scams include premium theft and auto stage accidents. Premium theft occurs when you buy an insurance policy from an agent or broker, and they never actually buy, place, or bind the policy with an insurance company. Let me share our latest arrest from an agent in Downey. So this is a press release that was sent to our department, and I'm going to read the press release for you. I usually just grab these like the week of my presentations because we get this so often. This one was fresh off the press as well. So formerly licensed insurance broker Robert Minero, of 39 years old, of Downey, was arraigned in 5 felony counts including insurance fraud and grand theft. The charges were filed after an investigation by the California Department of Insurance revealed Minero allegedly sold auto insurance policies to customers but failed to send his customers' premium to the insurance company, resulting in uncovered losses of more than $10,000 to at least 2 victims. The department began its investigation after a victim attempted to submit a claim to his insurance company and discovered the auto insurance policy he purchased from Minero was canceled prematurely, resulting in an uncovered loss of $5,000. The Department of Insurance was later notified by an insurance company that Minero's personal information, including contact and bank information, was connected to more than a dozen of other policies. After Minero's insurance license expired in September 2018, Minero continued to sell insurance to more than a dozen customers between 2018 and 2021. Minero collected premium payments for victims and at times failed to remit any or all the premiums to the insurance companies, resulting in policies being canceled for non-payment. So at least one additional victim experienced an uncovered loss of more than $5,000 due to Minero's actions. Other victims experienced lengthy gaps in coverage, and some policies were canceled by insurance companies after they could not verify information on policies Minero had purchased. So here we can see always really important to check if the insurance agent you are working with is licensed to sell insurance in the state of California. And you can do that by going on our website at www.insurance.ca.gov. Another one is stage auto accident. Stage auto accident fraud. Believe it or not, it still occurs. If you get into an accident and something just doesn't feel right, call the police and report it to your insurance company. If you find yourself in a situation and your gut tells you something isn't right, take a deep breath, don't feel rushed, and make a decision at the accident site. And do not admit fault. Do not tell anyone about your insurance policy or the coverage limit. You do have to exchange the insurance carrier information, but nothing more. Call the police and then call your insurance company. So what are some insurance scam warning signs? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The agent offers free seminars in sites like assisted living centers or retirement communities or places of worship or a nice restaurant for a free meal. The agent creates or updates the living trust in order to see your financial information. They're trying to find new clients that can potentially be worth a lot more money to them than the free living trust they are offering. They want your financial information, and it's up to you to guard it. So what can you do to avoid becoming a victim of insurance fraud? First, like I mentioned, check the status of the insurance company and agent on our website and make sure they are in good standing. Do not leave any blank spaces on an application. Dishonest agents can fill in blanks without your approval, and get everything in writing and compare policies. Don't pay with cash. Make checks payable to the insurance company or agency business and not in the agent's name. Don't buy coverage you can't afford and only the coverage that you need. Most importantly, ask questions. What does the policy cover? What is not covered or excluded? What is the cost and how often? If I cancel, are there any surrender charges? Is it suitable for me and or my situation / plans? Never feel pressured or intimidated. Consider having a trusted person with you. Agents know they should never use high pressure tactics and never sign anything you don't understand. So, yeah, what can you do to protect yourself? Just don't engage. Don't be polite. Be stingy with your personal information and change your passwords often. Hang up the phone. Just stop being so nice and report fraud. So if you have any questions about your home, auto, business, or life insurance, you can contact the Department of Insurance at 800-927-4357 or visit us online at www.insurance.ca.gov. I'll repeat the phone number one more time. That is 800-927-4357. Thank you.
All right, let's give another round of applause to all of our speakers. Thank you very much. So now we have some time for questions. Questions, complaints, concerns. Fire away. Anyone want to raise your hand? Yes, ma'am.
One day I got four calls.
4 calls? One day you got 4 calls?
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
What did you need or what did you do?
What can you do with the repeated unsolicited phone calls?
That number.
Yeah, no, I think we're all dealing with that. I know that there is the federal do not call registry. Jackie, do you have? Yeah. Thank you, Jackie's going to answer that question.
It's really unfortunate that we're always going to be solicited or receive unsolicited phone calls. So you can sign up with the Federal Trade Commission's Do Not Call Registry. You can register your home phone as well as your cell phone. And then another thing is you can block the number. Try to block the number. Contact your phone carrier to see if you can get the message that'll say scam likely, and also check with them to see how that they can help you block as well.
Thank you, Jackie. Along those lines, are there some answering machines that screen for scam phones?
I don't know about the answering machines, but my phones do say scam likely when a phone number does pop up and I don't recognize it, and then it'll also say scam likely. And then because there's an abundance of robocalls, I'm understanding that you can go to Robo, and it's NOMO, N-O-M-O, Robo, to put in information. And there's a gentleman in the back.
Okay. Just real quick before the NOMO Robo is that administered by a government agency?
I'm going to be honest. Okay. I've never done it, but just go online, and I hear it so often through law enforcement as well. So it's a legitimate site.
Okay. So according to Jackie, it's a legitimate site. We have a question in the back, and then the gentleman in the middle, and then yes, sir.
So his question was, he has to pay for $4 to be on the no call list through Frontier, and why is that? Is that correct, sir?
So the question is, he has to pay a fee. I think I heard $4 to Frontier to get on the do not call registry. Why is that?
Do not believe this company. Period. I have a letter from them. Just showed it to the lady.
Okay.
She couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Official letter with the president signing. You know?
Okay, we're hearing a complaint about Frontier, but I don't think we have. Yes, sir.
Didn't even authorize to read it.
So,
No name.
a gentleman here is sharing a letter saying that 2016 we notified you that your address was inadvertently included in an updated directory listing. Okay, so I think this is
Inadvertently.
okay.
I rejected it. I did not want it categorically, and they made an error.
Okay, a complaint against Frontier in terms of the fee. I think because these communication issues are under the jurisdiction of the federal government, I would suggest that you contact your congressional representative. If you're here in the South Bay, that would be Congressman Ted Lieu. I also wanted to add that my staff and maybe I'll take the opportunity to acknowledge Melissa Ramoso, who's been running around taking care of everyone, as well as Aaron Forberger, Becky Chang. We are all in our Torrance, and Eric Ponce right here, manning the the main organizer of today's event. Thank you, Eric. We are all in the Torrance district office, just south of the Del Amo Mall at Carson Street and Madrona, just next to the Madrona Marsh. Our number, anytime we can be of assistance, is 310-375-0691. 310-375-0691. Gentleman here had the question, and then
Have there been any convictions of people violating the do not call list?
the question.
What the hell?
The question is, have there been any convictions for those who violate the do not call list? I do not know, but what I have heard from past, I don't know if
Federal Trade Commission website might have that information because they're the administrators of the do not call.
Thank you. Jackie shared with me that the Federal Trade Commission has the authority, the jurisdiction to investigate and prosecute.
I know that.
And they may have information on their website, but beyond that, I do not know. Again, perhaps contacting your congressional representative would be the next step if you wanted to. But I don't have that information, and I don't see our panelists here have that information also. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I have one for the books. Maybe Jackie would like to hear this.
And I'm gonna repeat it so everyone can hear it. Yeah, but no, go ahead.
I'll try to put it in a nutshell.
Okay.
But I was super scammed out of $2,500.
Oh no.
It could have been worse because I took all my money out of the bank because this fellow said that I'm responsible for 22 pounds of cocaine that was purchased in my name, money laundering. I had 18 bank accounts all over the United States, and I was really petrified. So what did he do? Perfect scammer. He said, "Stop." I started to cry. I go, "Stop crying. This is important. Now, put your phone in your pocket. Put it on speaker." So I go to the be friendly. Take out all your. I did it. I had $45,000 in the bag. Luckily, I only bought $500 worth of
She's an idiot.
cards,
This,
SIM cards, and then I said, you know what, this is crazy, and I stopped.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to.
But do I feel bad?
We're hearing here an example of a woman who received a phone call that
It's from the Social Security.
who claimed to be calling from the Social Security Administration, who unfortunately scammed her of $2,500, making a host of wild and crazy claims. But basically, it sounds like you felt pressured
I was in
to.
a trance.
So again, I think you heard from all of the speakers, and I don't know if any of the panelists want to respond, but again, a reminder. I heard a common theme: be careful, especially the high pressure phone calls, people that try to make up these reasons why you should immediately deposit or transfer money. That be careful, Jackie.
Well, as you've heard today, you know that government agencies don't call you. And I just want to reiterate to anybody, these are all very fearful phone calls, but if you can take a pause and just think about what it is that they are asking you to do. And like Ryan also stated, if it's a sense of urgency that you have to respond, do right now, that is a red flag sign. And remember, the bottom line here today is don't believe the caller. If you did not initiate the phone call, be skeptical.
Thank you. Let me come back to you. I want to make sure I get the. Yes, ma'am.
I have been paying long-term care for 30 years.
Oh, sure. So, okay, Judy is sharing her experience about how you have been paying for long-term care insurance. Yeah. Okay. But you're talking about your general concern about not wanting to go to a facility because after the pandemic, concerns about the virus. So this sounds a little more complicated. Let's follow up and we'll speak to them. We have a question here, and then we'll come back.
I'm safe.
Ma'am, do you have a question or comment?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. I'd like to comment. One thing is someone said, if there is my impression, we pay so that she don't believe it. But however, it happened to my husband about a month ago. A caller said, I kidnapped their daughter. And then daughter, at that time, she was traveling to Europe. So my husband thought, oh, maybe he was kidnapped somewhere in Europe. Maybe she caught up in some international mafia or something. And then caller said, send the money right away. You can go to CVS pharmacy or you can go to like a Walmart. And I was at home, my husband was at home, so he was kind of panicked. And then the caller said, I let you
talk to your daughter. So woman was on the phone, but woman was screaming, and also my husband does not have a good hearing. So my husband could not tell, he could not tell what she was saying. So anyway, the caller said, just do what I said. So my husband, anyway, he sent about $950. And then later, he called a call, and then, did you do what I said? So my husband said, yes, I did. Okay, I let you talk to your daughter at 5 o'clock, which is about 2 hours away. So we waited, and nobody called. And then,
Okay, yeah, I want to share this. So you want to share this awful experience that your husband had. What is your name?
my name is Sachiko.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Sachiko is sharing this awful, frightening situation where her husband received a call where the caller claimed that their daughter was kidnapped, and it happened that her daughter was traveling in Europe at the time, and the caller actually went as far as saying, I have your daughter here, and they put on a woman who started screaming, and Sachiko's husband, was obviously very worried and deposited or transferred $950 at a CVS.
Yeah.
And so again, let me ask, did you report that to the police?
Yeah, afterward, wait a few hours, nobody called, so I told my husband, we should call police. This is more than we can handle. And my husband said, no, I don't want to put my daughter's life at risk. But anyway, I insist we should call. So daughter was living in Boston. So we called Boston police office, police department, and then, it's a scam.
Okay.
And also we called Torrance police department, and also it's a scam, it's going around.
But did they do anything?
No, and also I told him, do you have a receipt when you send the money? And he just panicked, he just threw everything. So we did not do anything, we just lost $950. That's about it.
Did you file a police report?
No, we just told the police. My husband just wanted to forget it. Maybe he was embarrassed, so he just wanted to forget it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question was, did they call the police about this? Apparently, her daughter was living at the time in Boston. They contacted the Boston police as well as the Torrance police. They both told them that this is a
It's a
scam,
very common scam.
very common scam. But no one was caught, no one was prosecuted.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing. We have a question over here, and then we'll come back to you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the gentleman from the state licensing board mentioned about a 4-year statute of limitations. When does that begin?
When does the statute of limitations begin for the 4-year statute of limitations? What triggers the statute?
Statute of limitation begins depending on the act or omission, the date of the act or omission. So, for example, if the contract was signed and nothing occurred, they never started the work or anything, the date of the act or omission is the date that the contract was signed. So it kind of varies on the dates. So it's hard to tell you the exact, specific date as when it'll start, but it all just depends on when the act or omission occurred. That's all I can really say on that.
Does that answer your question? Somebody
The act of omission or?
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you repeat what you're saying, act of omission?
Yeah, basically, what would trigger the defense would be the act, the violation that's either an action or an omission of an action that would be the basis of the complaint. Yes, sir.
quick question. Is there anyone at your office with the assignment to help callers, like these people, emergency call? So this advisor would at least a cool down person and advise for the course of action. Write down this number, do this, do this, do this, do this. Just emergency help. Is there any person at your office of
Yes.
this nature?
Yes.
Who
So
is the person?
well, so I introduced to everyone. We have
okay.
1, 2,
Thank you.
3, 4 of our staff in our Torrance district office. Again, if you call our number 310-375-0691 in our Torrance district office, we are ready to assist you.
Okay. Any name?
I introduced
Everyone would be
Yeah,
helpful?
everyone. Yeah, we're all here to serve.
Okay.
Thank you. Sachiko, I'm going to see if there's someone else. Any? Yes, ma'am.
This card. Can I have a copy?
How does your son shut them out? Oh, I got my son. Okay. All right. So she has a piece of advice to anyone that wants to shut down a unsolicited contractor approaching them. Just tell them that my son or my daughter, I guess, is a contractor. And apparently that Yes, ma'am. Cable TV. Which company? I'm sorry, I want to make sure that we're all share with everyone. So the lady here is I'm sorry, your name? Celia. Okay, Celia is describing a scam last week that happened to her husband. She was they subscribed to Spectrum, their cable provider, and he ordered a crime. He wanted to watch a crime movie or TV show, and then they called and they said that you need to. So the call came in and that showed up on the TV screen and it said you need to call this number. Yeah, and so what was the scam? I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. So basically, they were asking for an upgrade of Amazon Prime.
I think I probably would have known that one.
But that was a fraud. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. This is a little complicated. So we can talk more individually. Your advice is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sure. But doesn't, I know that on my cable, my phone number is connected to my cable, and so every phone call, that number shows up. This is not your situation. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Saw a phone number on the screen. Husband called the phone number, and it turned out to be a scam.
Okay. All right. So this is a scam that sounds even more sophisticated. They actually put a phone number on the TV when your husband was watching the TV. Call that number, and that number turned out to be a scam. So again, if you didn't ask for it, be wary of unsolicited offers of service. Thank you very much. One more question, and I'll be sticking around if folks want to talk more about any specific situation or questions or suggestions. I'd love to hear suggestions also. Okay, so the comment was made that if you get a call from the police department or the fire department, normally they would not be calling you. So this again needs to be very skeptical of any unsolicited calls from local first responders. Thank you very much. I would love to hear, I just want to wrap up on this. First of all, again, let's give a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you very much again for sharing all your great ideas. Thank you, Lori.